Okay, I want to talk about shapes and symbolism. So many times, when we're building as designers in any type of a field, you want to think like we automatically do a certain type of work. This actually is one of the shapes that I am in love with right now. They're actually these forged circular shapes. You're going to see this in my jewelry that I've been doing, and like this is my shape. Everyone, for as long as I've been teaching, everyone has a completely different shape. Even the tiniest of tiny. I love doing these teeny tinies, And here's the same thing, but with a pair of earrings. Let's see if I can get this to flow downward. Oh, love these draping down. I love them mismatched. So for me, these very, for me, it's like circles. Circles are all about the good of the whole. Circles are all about continuation, fruition, like endless life. In every single culture, circles are endless life. Like you'll see that symbolism all over the place. And the square is really for such grounding. The triangles are for action, movement, action. There's a lot of times I do triangles. You're gonna see that in some of my work coming up too. So, when I am teaching a workshop, I like to make sure that, I'll show a technique, but I really like to make sure that people in my workshop are really developing and doing the work that is their own, comes from themselves, to feel what you want to feel, like what shape feels natural coming out of you. This is really important for the artist. Like we are here, we're the heartbeat of the world, we're creators, and it's important for us to go through the world and absorb our world and take it in and put it out, in our own creative force. The more we do our own work and the more we follow our intuition and follow the shapes we want to do and the colors we want to do and the patterns, it really helps us to define who we are and what we're all about. And this way, our own people can find us. You know what I mean? It's like attracts like. I have seen that over and over again. Like attracts like. So the more you take this time for yourself and you're doing this work, the stronger your work becomes, the better people can identify the work as your own, and your people can find you. You're never going to have trouble selling your work, So isn't that interesting? So one of the things that I do, and I do a live, so I want you guys to make sure, please like and subscribe and send me a comment. I always love getting comments because this helps me to know kind of what you guys want to hear about. Please feel free to mention a subject in here. I have done every single marketing field and built for so many different markets. So, built jewelry lines and color and shape for every single market. So it's just kind of fun to hear maybe what you're working on in your life, So I want to tell you guys though, inside of here, I have an unfolding program. It's a membership, and in my membership, you guys can join if you'd like to. I really work with people on getting to your core work, and that's what I love to do, is take creators and really help guide them into finding the direction of your own work, you know. And this month, actually, you're going to find there, and I have a 2.5 years worth of materials in here for, you know, it's a lot of this. It's what I talk about live. So please make sure you show up for one of my lives and think about it. You can check out inside of Unfolding. Unfolding is all about getting really, I give you exercise and put together a little package to get to your passion. I put together a little package on how to stay better in the moment, on how to get into your heart and your love and find what you're looking for in life. So there's a lot of these pieces and parts, and I could work easier with a group of people who I know are there and intend to be there. So anyway, today in my workshop, this is my shape, and you guys are welcome to do this. It's a little bit about forging. I've spent a lot of time forging silver, forging bronze, and you know, it's just like a really amazing, you have to keep your arms in good shape. You know, as artists, it's like our body is our tool. So one of the best things we can do is to keep our hands, our wrists, our arms, our legs, stand right, stand properly, and keep everything in good shape, because this is our tools here. I've known so many artists who have gotten so good at what they do, and then they're allergic to their medium because they didn't take care to wear a mask, or they, you know, they have to get a operation in the wrist, or they can't work for a year, and you're just collecting all this information. Sometimes it's good because you can move to a different medium, right? But anyway, I'm going to show you forging, and I want to show you some of the important things to really look out for when you're forging. And then I'm just going to make a little circle, just one. That's all we need. All right, you guys. Okay. Down by my big anvil again. You know what? I feel so lucky. I bought, a lot of people ask me about my anvil, my bench, and my desk. I bought some of my materials so long ago for such good prices. Oh my gosh. You know, I remember I also had a hydraulic press at one time, and I sent it back because I was like, I don't need this. But things have just gotten high in price with silversmithing. There's so many people really, you know, silversmithing as a hobby, bringing it in to make extra money, doing events, doing shows, showing your own voice. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many creators in the world that we are just trying to show our own voice and express ourselves and put ourselves out there. So let me close up this drawer so we don't get a lot of distractions. And so this, you guys, if you can see, I would have loved to have put these earrings on, but these aren't they gorgeous? Here, I'll show you how they're gonna look on. And these are actually, they're so pretty, but I can't wear earrings at work. I love big earrings. As big as the earrings are, give me more, see? Love these because they're so light. If you have any trouble with your ear, they're so light because there's so much hollow space, negative space. You know, when you're doing your work, one of the things you have to remember as a jeweler is that negative space is just as important as the positive space. Isn't that a crazy thought, you know? All this negative space helps you to see the positive space. And I have to do a lot more about assembling in all of this. So I think I usually say on here, I'm an artist, I'm trained as an artist, and I moved into silversmithing later on. So, you know, it's been really fun. It's like I come from an art background. So what I like to do is I like to show silversmiths really how to organize, how to put together a body of work, how to let flow happen, how to, you know, it's like I've done really big pieces for runway before, you know, that come all the way down to your knees. And, you know, how do you balance a piece like that? There's so many different elements in what type of jewelry you do. So you could be a silversmith for 20, 30 years and you still have more to learn. It's so exciting. I love it. So I'm gonna start with the 16 gauge, believe it or not, and bronze is gorgeous too, you guys. So believe it or not, these are, you know, really hammer out nice and wide. I just go in a couple times. So here's my anvil. You guys are just gonna see this part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let me see, I might move you over a little bit. You guys like my, you know what, the guys love my anvil, I'll tell you that much. when men walk into my studio, they're like, what? A woman has this gorgeous, gorgeous anvil. So anyway, I'm gonna just start with, my studio is a little bit more organized. I'm just gonna cut, I cut a lot of different sizes. What? This is gonna be a piece that is a 1/2 inch. Every little bit is amazing, you guys. You know what I mean? It's like you could take your little scraps that you have and create pieces like this. So, oh, I lost that little 1 inch. All right, I'll find it later on my floor. Let me cut another one. I like to cut 3 different sizes. Okay. Put this away. 1, 2. So for me, mine is variety. Oop, and that's what my life is about too, is variety. So there's my variety. I like a variety of size and shape. Now, basically what I want to talk to you about is how to take care of your body when you're here at your anvil. This actually is, there's so many things I can say. I'm just going to give you a tip about, just a very general tip. I'll do some things later that talk more about how to really work your, you know, I'm going to be talking more and more, but what I want to talk about today is when you are forging, you want a really heavy resist. So if in your studio you just have a little bitty bench block like this, you want to get like an oak table or like an oak stump and put, you know, build it up high enough and put your bench block on your piece. That's all you really need. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, this is fabulous, because what happens is if I use this tiny little bench block and I just have a little bit of resist, I need to use a really heavy hammer. The hammer that I would use, I'm going to show you this. Oh my God, I love this hammer. I brought this hammer back from Paris at a flea market. This is a blacksmith hammer. I love the energy from it. I loved everything about it. It feels so good. I mean, the edges on here are so beautiful when I forge. Oh my gosh, I love everything about this hammer. Even has a nice little place to hold it. The only thing I don't like about this hammer is that my arm gets a little bit tired in my wrist. So when you swing a hammer, I'm gonna swing like this. When you swing your hammer, you can't move your wrist around at all, because that's gonna hurt your wrist. You just need to kind of come down on your pieces like this. And if I just had a tiny little bench block like this, I would use a blacksmith hammer, because this gives you a really good resist. You have to have your heavy on one end or the other. And if I have a lighter bench block, I need a heavier hammer, okay? So luckily here, I have got a really nice resist. You want to make sure with your anvil, look exactly, this is where when your hand falls down, you want your knuckle of your thumb to hit the surface of your anvil. And mine just about hits it. I actually set mine up because I usually come in here with a little higher shoes. You know, I usually have like in my gym shoes and whatever shoes I'm wearing, I'll usually have about a good 1.5 inches. I feel like I fit at my desk better, but I'm 5'4". You know, benches are really made for, I was reading that airport seats and benches and silversmithing benches, they're really made for guys, or right, you know, not for a 6-foot guy, but a little bit taller. So for me, I'm 5'4". I like wearing that little bit of heel because on the airplane, my feet are like dangling like a little kid if I don't. Here, I need to be up this little bit higher to stand and do my solder work. At my anvil, I love being this height because you can see I just set everything so I can have 1.5 inches on here. So everything is set. And when you are, I'm gonna pull out this biggest piece here. So when you are, I told you how you have to hold your hand. There's usually a little divot in here. This one is very, very comfortable to me. Let me pull out another hammer that I've had forever. Oh my gosh, here's another. Where is my other hammer? Someone accidentally took it home and then they sent it back to me. That was amazing that happened, but it's the same. I couldn't find this one again. I usually, look you guys, I like, you know, this is one that I use too. This is also another hammer that I brought in from Paris, from a blacksmith. This one is a little bit longer, has a beautiful edge. What you really want is this little bit of, see how this has a flat edge? This actually doesn't forge as well as the others because it's so flat. Flat hammers don't do as well. You're gonna get a lot of marks in there. This one works beautifully because look at this tiny little beautiful dome. That's what you wanna look for. Not the ball peen side, but this tiny little dome here is perfect for forging. So then I'm gonna stand. You wanna make sure your shoulders are back. I use the best, I just use the best, you know, stance because your body will get used to it. You know, when you're doing your work, you know, your body, it's like when you get used to good posture, anytime you just walk up to your bench, your posture is gonna just reflect that. You'll start doing it automatically. If you start slumping or slouching, then you know you'll just walk in and your body will continue to do it, and then your body hurts and you get out of shape. Another thing I do, you guys, is I do a lot of stretch work and yoga, which, by the way, let me mention again, today I'm just putting in the plugs for Unfolding. My Unfolding program has 2.5 years worth of stretching and like movement into pieces to keep your body in good shape. And I'm just starting with like 12-minute movements, and I've got up to an hour movements of Kundalini yoga. So I've done, it's a lot of energy work to keep your mind, body, and soul in great shape. I have a good description of it if you want to pop into Unfolding, but I'd love to have you guys. It's a community for creators and artists where we can fill each other's cups. And then it also is a place where you could do just a little bit of that breath work to get in the moment and be the best artist that you possibly can. That's my interest. It's like I dragged my way up from, I just got so out of mind, body, and spirit, so off balance when I had my companies and I was filling so many big orders. And it's been a long way back, but I wrote this program of how to stay true to yourself, how to get into your heart and soul, and how to be there as a creator. The world is rough out there for creators, right? So we need to be together, like be together for the good of the whole. And I like to think of myself as a person that can help you grow as an artist. And there's a lot in there, so check it out. Okay, so forging, so that's it. It's like in Unfolding, you'd have a lot of these short little exercises. You keep your arm back, you keep your legs straight down, and you're just gonna put your piece flat here. Let me move you guys up a little bit. I think I can just move you up. How about that? Let's see. And then push you down a little. Move you up, push you down right here. Hang on a second. How is it? Oh my God, you guys have a great view. Look at that. Okay, so I'm sitting here. This is my piece, and I'm using this. I'm holding very gently. You don't want to squeeze your wrist. That's gonna hurt. You wanna hold very gently, and I'm not gonna bend my wrist at all. My wrist is tight. It's my bicep. I'm gonna get a really strong bicep here, guys. See that? That's what you get from forging. Isn't that great? That's what we love as silversmiths, right? You get these nice body contours. Okay, all right. No matter how old or how long you've been doing it. Okay, so posture straight, and I'm just gonna start right at the end. Just giving myself some nice taps. You don't want to distort it too far out of balance. You can hear the gentle little taps, and I'm literally, I'm shaping my metal. You can see how I'm shaping it. You know, I'm not just hammering it flat, I'm shaping. When I get about halfway done, I'm gonna flip it. Start on the other end. There we go. I don't want to hammer it too much because I can anneal it and get a little bit more hammered. So let me show you this tiny little one. I'm going to start right here. I do like having everything not uniform because it's interesting to me. You know, when you study art and it's like you use areas to pull your eye in and lead them around. You know, if it was just one solid circle, it wouldn't be as interesting to your eye. You learn that as an artist. I could hammer all day long by just making sure that my muscles are in good shape. Okay, time to anneal. I'll show you annealing. Okay, here's my pieces. I never pile them on top of each other. You want to line them up nice and symmetrical because you could actually fuse them together very, very easily. I'm just going to take my big benzomatic torch. Let's see, can I get it? Done. That's all you need because I've made them a little bit thinner. Nice and black. I'm going to hammer out a little bit more, and then sometimes what I do is I clean out the edges. So I'm going to go in for a second time. That's kind of important. Okay, I want to make sure that my pieces are nice and dry. I quenched them. Let them sit and quench them. And you want to make sure that I don't put wet things on top of my anvil. I usually try to protect it with an oil so I can keep my surface beautiful and flat. I know it's going to be harder to see because it literally is the same color, but watch how beautifully this gets spread. Okay, get in your position. This is the last time that I'm in, so I need to make sure I shape this beautifully. And there's a lot more to forging. This is like the beginning. I could go deep down a rabbit hole. But that's for the inside of unfolding. I really show a lot more details on the inside of unfolding if you're interested. I do a project every month in there. There we go. Look at how beautiful. Sometimes I like when it's a little bit off center, but look at how beautiful. It's gonna go in the, I'm gonna clean these edges off with a little bit of a file. And let me get the rest of this done, these other two. I'm gonna clean them off with a file, and then I'm gonna anneal them, and then they'll be ready to pickle. Even the tiny one deserves attention. Even that tiny one. Okay, I think I've got this thick enough. I've got it the way I want it. Yay! So that's kind of the basics, like of, you know, you're not just trying to hit it flat. You literally are not trying to hit it flat. You're just getting in and you're shaping and you're controlling every single minute area that it spreads. You're just spreading it and shaping it and moving it and getting it exactly the way you want it. You're in control. Did you know that? Every time we walk up to metal or an anvil, we think, oh my gosh, these are, you know, to be a silversmith, you have to be so strong. No, you do not have to be strong. The secret of forging is to make your metal weaker. Isn't that a great way to think of like working with your opponents? So we just anneal it. When I annealed it and brought it up to a bright red, that made my metal just really, all the molecules moved in there and they spread out and it was as soft as butter so I could get back in. So that's why I'm always just doing the tiny little taps, guys. It's tiny little taps. There's nothing that you have to really, you know, get in and, you know, do such big, strong hits. We're like ballerinas here. We're very feminine and ballerinas, and we can get in and we can anneal our metal, make it weak, and move it any way we want to. We love that, don't we? All right. Okay. Don't mind the mess, just a little tiny collection of a mess. The first thing I'm going to do, these are all annealed. I'm going to take the tiniest one. And if you guys want more, I've got, oh my gosh, a whole section of of this in my intentional metalsmithing, okay? And I'm just kind of determining what I want, what size I want it to be, how big I want it to be. Look at how cute that one is. Maybe this one is going to be maybe about the same, but it could wrap over a few more times. Let's see what we could do here. Just take it. It's like, it's your, you know, it's your shape. It's your talisman. It's your, the size you do, the fold overs you do, the way that it looks. It's all yours. So even though these are the same size, they both look completely different. It's kind of fun. When you just use your organic, you know, like this one, maybe I'll do bigger. So I'm just going to actually start curving it this way. That's all. Do I like that shape? Well, if I don't, I can go in and just hit it this way. There we go. Ooh, love these gorgeous little tiny shapes. It's always such a surprise to do all this work and have tiny shapes, right? Once these are soldered together, they're gonna be gorgeous. I do need a teeny tiny one. Look at how beautiful these shapes look playing with each other. Now, you know, when they're actually in relation to each other, I'm gonna spread them out. I'm gonna create positive and negative space. And that's the way you organize things to make it look amazing and have your viewer be interested in looking at your work. If you've had people say, oh my gosh, I can't take my eyes off of your work, it's so interesting, that's when you use negative and positive space appropriately, and you know, you really use it appropriately, and do your own voice, your own thing. So have fun. This looks like a bezel that I'm very familiar with. I always love when architecture, when I find where the ideas were inspired from. I'm showing you guys on my walk every day, I see this fence post. So I love coming back into my studio, building my materials that actually, you know, just mimic architecture. So anyway, this reminded me, I love this bezel wire. This reminds me so much of that piece that the fence that I showed you guys on my walk. I also soldered this together with just, this is like a 3/4 inch strip, sterling silver strip. And then I soldered the bezel on here because I need a lot more room. A lot of these filigree bezel wire, they just come in small and simple. When I am setting a bigger piece or a rose cut gem or something really interesting, I just have to get in and create more height. So I solder it together, and I'm gonna just show you a piece. I'm gonna make a bezel cap out of this piece. It'll be really fun. Okay, this is where I had ice resin, you guys. 3 apartments upstairs. This was my area. There's the Adam. Here's where we went into. Katrina managed in here. I had ice resin in here, I think, for 3 years. Can you guys see inside there? Now it's a barber shop. But this was my stomping grounds. That was so much fun. And right in front of my old stomping grounds. It's crazy to be back here. I had ice resin here for at least 3 or 4 years, and it was so much fun. I'm back in the little town where I had you know, so much going on. I was raising my kids, had a company in town. It was fun. I'm on memory lane today. So you can see silversmithing work for everyone is so different depending on the size stones you use, depending on the work you're doing. Every single silversmith has a different technique and a different way to do things. So there's really no wrong if you figure out how to do it right. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, see how I fit this in here so beautifully. So I have the exact shape that I want. So when you get to the place, how do you get your little stone in there and make sure that it's fit exactly? You can see the shape, you can see which way I need to set this in, right? Right like this. You can decide, I usually like the flat side up, but everyone is so different. Doesn't have to fit in there quite yet, but you just get it all into place. Get it all into, oh wait, no, that's the wrong stone. I was like, wait a second, am I gonna make a mistake right in front of everybody? This is the stone, this gorgeous little amber color tourmaline. The thing I like about tourmaline is that there's so many beautiful colors and they all look like water. Okay, so this one's even tinier. I know most of the time I have my hands covering it, but you can see with my pliers, I'm just getting on the outside of the band the exact size that I need. And then I look from the side and make sure that I'm able to have it flat inside of there. And this is exactly how you set beautiful little tiny stones. Now the only thing I have to do, if this is sitting up in the air, I have to actually just sandpaper the back down a little bit before I get it onto my metal. But there's some little tips for you there that are gonna be pretty exciting and super easy to set tourmaline. So here it is. I just pulled it from the liver of sulfur and I'm gonna dry it off. I like getting it nice and dry, really black, right? Oh my gosh, I remember when I loved this really, really dark liver of sulfur, and I would try to just keep my pieces this color. It's very, you know, it's a contrast to the gems. I used to love it because look at the gem that's going in here. Look at the contrast in there. Is that amazing or what? And by the way, you guys, see how I have the back cut out? I always like to show cutting out the back of your stone. You know, I have shown that in some of my film and video. And otherwise, these, I'm gonna put some silver foil in there. Now, I wanna tell you guys, I actually have, I'm gonna be opening it up this summer. I have a whole course called Intentional Metalsmithing, and I'm gonna just do a couple days of mentoring with it, and I'm gonna offer it on for sale for a group of people who really wanna get in from start to finish and really learn these backbone of these techniques and then grow on them. I know some of the stuff I'm showing here, I just like showing, you know, just random tips for people who are already doing this type of work, just some art pieces. For me, it's like I was trained as an artist and then I went into silversmithing. So I just show silversmithing with an artist eye. But, you know, if anyone is interested, let me know, because I'm actually thinking maybe through, you know, the next couple months, I'm going to open up Intentional Metalsmithing. So shoot me a DM. Let me know if you're interested. And I'm getting that page all set up. So I'm just hitting the back. Now see, this actually, it gets you these beautiful purples. And if I just use this scratch brush on my work, I'll get kind of a dull surface. But then I get in there with my jeweler's wheel or the attachments on my Dremel that will give me a gorgeous, gorgeous shine. Oh my gosh, it's like the polishing compounds. There certainly are other tools. I've been doing this for so many years, and I started off with the polishing compounds, you know, the bobbing compounds, the wheels, there's silicone attachments, but I love the richness that the bobbing compounds give me. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna actually run over to my, I know you guys have seen some of the other videos before. You can come in. Hey, Adam's here. But I'm gonna actually polish this up on my wheel. There's another one in here where I show you guys how I'm polishing this, but that's kind of how I use the scratch bite. That's about what I do. Got my ring finished, so I wanted to show you guys in the light. I have a lot of prayer boxes on here, see? So I have embedded some beautiful words. First of all, tourmaline stone, you know, is really those heart openers, those pinks and greens, a little bit of ambers in here. And I did all these prayer boxes that say freedom inside. So it's like, it's kind of like with the, you know, the heart. I like to put the heart with all types of really beautiful, beautiful prayers in there that are for freedom. Freedom and love. That's what this piece is all about. It's a big statement piece.